Many people think HVAC and refrigeration are the same trade. They're not even close, and picking the wrong one could cost you years of your career and tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, hell no!
If you're thinking about getting into HVAC, or you're already in it and wondering why the refrigeration guys seem to be making more money, this is the video that's going to clear everything up. Because there's a reason refrigeration techs are in massive demand right now. And there's a reason why most HVAC schools won't even teach you the skills you need to get there. Beyond your EPA 608 universal certification, you'll need specialized training that most programs skip entirely. I've spent over 30 years in the blue-collar jobs, and I've watched guys pick the wrong side of this trade and struggle for it. So let me save you that lesson. Let's start with what most people already know, or think they know. HVAC stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And the majority of this industry is what we call comfort HVAC. That means you're controlling heating, cooling, airflow filtration, air quality, all to keep people comfortable. Offices, homes, retail spaces, hospitals. If somebody's too hot or too cold, you're the person who fixes it. And here's what's great about the HVAC side. You get instant gratification. You roll up to the building, the AC is down, people are sweating, you diagnose it, fix it, and cold air starts blowing. The customer is happy. You're a hero, and you move on to the next call. The money's solid too. Entry-level HVAC techs are pulling around 54 grand a year without overtime. Get 4 to 7 years in, you're looking at $77,000. Senior techs and supervisors, $90,000 to $100K plus. The BLS projects 8% job growth through 2034. That's significantly faster than the average. But here's the catch. Everybody knows about HVAC. It's the trade your guidance counselor might actually mention. Most schools, most competition, easiest entry point. That's not a bad thing. But it means the ceiling is where things get interesting, because there's another side of the industry that most people never even hear about. And the people in it, they're not competing with nearly as many techs for a lot more money. Now here's where most people go wrong. When we say refrigeration in this industry, we're not talking about the fridge in your kitchen. That's appliance repair. It's a different trade in a different world entirely. We're talking about commercial refrigeration, grocery store coolers and freezers running on R404A systems, walk-in units at restaurants, Hussmann rack systems in supermarkets, industrial cold storage with ammonia refrigeration. This is where product worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars is on the line every single day. And that changes everything about the job. In HVAC, if you mess up, someone's uncomfortable. In refrigeration, if you mess up, a grocery store loses $200,000 worth of product overnight. The stakes are completely different, and that's why the pay reflects it. Glassdoor puts the average refrigeration tech salary at around $83,000. Top earners in ammonia refrigeration and industrial process coolings, they're breaking $125,000. Compare that to the average HVAC tech at $72,000 per year. The experienced commercial refrigeration guy consistently out-earning HVAC techs by $10,000 to $20,000 a year or more. But here is what no one even tells you. The core principles of refrigeration and AC are the same. The refrigeration cycle is the refrigeration cycle, but commercial refrigeration requires a level of precision, patience, and technical depth that most HVAC programs don't even touch. My trade school instructor told me something when I was 16 and it stuck with me. Refrigeration is the trade of old men. Not because it's outdated, but because it rewards patience. You fix a walk-in, you wait for the box temp to pull down. You wait for the time-initiated defrost cycle. You wait for the ice machine to harvest. No instant gratification. It's slow, methodical, detail-oriented work, checking superheat and subcooling readings until everything stabilizes. And look, I get it. Not everybody wants to sit in a grocery store at midnight watching a temperature gauge drop 1 degree at a time. Some guys need that instant fix, that I solved it, let's go energy. That's fine. That's HVAC. There's no shame in it. But if you're the kind of person who likes puzzles, who doesn't mind waiting for the answer, refrigeration might be where your money is. So the money is higher, the demand is real, and the competition is thinner. It sounds perfect, right? Not so fast, because there's a side of refrigeration that nobody puts in the brochure. You've got to understand, the reason refrigeration pays more isn't charity. It pays more because it demands more. And I'm not just talking about skills. The on-call schedule in commercial refrigeration is brutal. When a commercial store freezer goes down at 2 a.m., that's not a we'll get to it in the morning situation. That's a right now drop everything and get in the truck situation. The product doesn't wait. The store manager doesn't wait. Your phone rings, you go. In Comfort HVAC, if someone's AC goes out at midnight, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but nobody's losing product. Nobody's losing money by the minute. That call can usually wait until morning. Refrigeration calls just can't. And the difference eats into your weekends, your nights, your family time, and then there's the physical side. Commercial refrigeration components are heavy. Semi-hermetic, Copeland, or Carlisle compressors on a refrigeration rack are massive. You need rigging knowledge. You need to know how to move equipment safely that weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But here's where it gets even better for the right person. The burnout rate in commercial refrigeration is real. A lot of techs wash out, and every tech who leaves creates an opening for someone who can handle it. It's supply and demand, and if you've got the grit, the field is wide open. And this is exactly the kind of decision that Course Careers helps people figure out. Whether you're learning HVAC or thinking refrigeration might be your path, the worst thing you can do is pick blindly. Their AI counselor, Cora, will walk you through which careers match your personality, your goals, and your tolerance for the lifestyle that comes with them. There's a free intro course for every single construction trade. The link's in the description. But there's one more thing you need to know before you decide, because the money and the lifestyle are only two pieces of this puzzle. The third piece, it's the one that actually determines whether you succeed or fail in either path. And here's what nobody breaks down for you. HVAC and refrigeration don't just differ in what you work on, they differ in who thrives in them. And if you pick the one that doesn't match your personality, you're gonna burn out no matter what the paycheck says. HVAC, especially residential, is a people trade. You're in someone's home, you're talking to the homeowner, explaining the problem and building trust. If you've got good people skills and you like that face-to-face interaction, residential HVAC will feel natural. Now, commercial refrigeration, it's a mechanical trade. Customer interaction is minimal. The work is about the equipment, the controls, the diagnostics. If you'd rather solve a complex technical problem than make small talk, refrigeration is where you'll thrive. And here's the entry point. HVAC is easy to break into. More schools, more positions, and more companies willing to train you from zero. Refrigeration companies generally want you to already have HVAC experience. Now here's where most people go wrong. They think it's one or the other forever. Well, it's not. The smartest path, start in HVAC. Build your foundation. Learn the refrigeration cycle, the electrical, the controls. Then when you're ready, start reading up on commercial refrigeration. Hey guys, it's JV. Let me pause the video real quick. If you want a faster way into real careers that pay, check out Course Careers. They train people for in-demand jobs in tech, business, and all sorts of construction trades without wasting years in college. They're rated almost 5 stars with thousands of real reviews you can check out. You earn a certificate of completion and they help you prepare for real job placement. And if you use my link, you get $50 off instantly. So if you're serious about changing your income path, the link is below. Take manufacturing classes from Emerson, Hill Phoenix, Heatcraft. Those resources are out there. Many of them are free. And get your NATE certification for HVAC credibility. Then pursue specialized refrigeration training. And when a refrigeration opportunity comes along, you'll be ready for it. And that's the whole thing. It's not about which trade is better. It's about which trade is better for you. So here's the bottom line. HVAC and refrigeration share the same science, but they're completely different careers. HVAC, comfort-based, people-facing, easier entry, solid pay from $54K to $100K plus. Refrigeration, product-based, technically deeper, harder lifestyle, but the pay ceiling is higher. $83,000 average, and top earners past $125K. And the shortage means the demand isn't slowing down. So just a hypothetical. Picture yourself 3 years from now. You pick the right path for your personality. You're not burned out, you're not bored, you're making money that your friends with degrees are still chasing. That's what happens when you choose with your eyes open. But choosing HVAC over refrigeration is only step one. How you actually break in, what certifications matter, and how to accelerate your earning potential, I break down exactly how to get into the trades faster and start earning sooner in this video right here. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. The wrong trade will drain you. The right trade will build your life. Make sure you know the difference before you commit. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. We'll see you on the next one.
But look at the workforce. You're going to create 2 million jobs in manufacturing, and we have 480,000 openings this month that we can't fill. The whole system needs to be grabbed by the lapels and shook.